Developing right now, leaders in Mexico are demanding answers after 2 CIA employees were killed in a car crash following a drug lab raid. Now, it happened in the Mexican state of Chihuahua, which shares a border with Texas and New Mexico. Mexico's president says she was not aware of the drug raid and that collaborations between the local government and U.S. without federal permission violate Mexican law. I want to bring in CBS News intelligence and national security reporter Olivia Gazis. Olivia, great to be with you. There's always a lot of secrecy around anything involved with the CIA. So what do we know about why these agents were in Mexico in the first place?
Sure, Liz. Well, you're absolutely right that there's still a lot of seeming contradictions and definite unknowns here, and there is still an investigation ongoing. So the U.S. government, for its part, has had very little to say publicly about the circumstances of this incident, the first indication of which we got from a brief social media post by the U.S. ambassador to Mexico. So what we've been able to piece together from U.S. and Mexican officials who are familiar with the situation so far is that this crash happened in northern Mexico shortly after a counter-narcotics operation that was carried out, we understand, by Mexican authorities. 2 U.S. officials who we have now confirmed to be employees of the CIA met with Mexican officials tied to that operation after it concluded, and while returning from that meeting, their vehicle went off the road and plunged into a ravine, killing 4. Again, we're told the circumstances are still being investigated, and it's very much worth noting that it is rare and unusual for any CIA-linked casualties to surface this publicly and in what's almost real time. The agency usually releases very little public information about their fallen beyond adding stars to the well-known memorial wall in their headquarters, which commemorates officers who've lost their lives in the line of duty. So it can take years and sometimes even decades to learn the specifics, but the speed and the visibility here of this incident is reflective, I think, of the intense level of scrutiny of the U.S.'s counter-narcotics missions around the world that have otherwise been a very visible priority for this administration.
And Olivia, all this is coming as the U.S. has placed increased pressure on Mexico over drug trafficking. Can you talk to us a little bit about that?
Sure. Well, I mean, CIA, for its part, has a long history of running counter-narcotics operations worldwide. But again, that mission has really been beefed up since John Ratcliffe, the current director, took the helm of the agency last year. Every director that comes in sort of sets and reshapes priorities for his workforce or her workforce. And one of Ratcliffe's earliest moves was to stand up a mission center dedicated to merging intelligence collection and analysis to target specifically drug trafficking and cartel networks, again in line with the administration's priorities. Now, that has required to a large extent the cooperation of foreign governments to partner, including and especially maybe even Mexico's government. President Claudia Sheinbaum, who you referenced, has previously publicly spoken to working much more closely with U.S. agencies on anti-drug missions. It's of course possible that she and other senior leadership in Mexico weren't read in on this specific activity, but this is definitely happening against a backdrop of openly acknowledged bilateral pushes for closer cooperation on counter-narcotics operations in particular.
Olivia Gazis, thanks so much.